acting on it at the end.
Can I quickly ask one last question?
Please, please.
Might be disturbing you, but I'm curious, as a data person that you've been for so long, just out of your survey and your insights that you've had, where have you found the most difficult aspect to get data on? So just give me your insights, meaning data, we've got data. Which area as a person that who has done it for so long say, that still cannot be cracked with data?
That's a difficult question to answer, and I'll try to give a shot at this thing. It's frankly speaking, it's very easy to enter data. I'm absent in the market. I score 10 out of 15. I enter it. I'm a zombie. I'm just entering 10 out of 15. Or for example, if a discipline incident. But what needs to happen in parallel within the school is to create those kind of thought processes, so that the data that's entered into the software is good, is high quality data. And I'll just use an example just referring to my conversation with Deepa yesterday. One of the things that Riverside has done fantastically well is to actually split the curriculum area into different skill sets. Within each skill set, break it down to sub skills. Create a thought process. Creating a rubric is easy. I can create a rubric, but are my teachers competent enough to understand that rubric, to translate that into a number which is entered in this thing? That's a big challenge. That's a huge challenge. So academics is what I would say is the most difficult area to enter data. Which might sound funny because we've been doing report cards for the last 50 years. Who are you to tell us that our report card is not good? But is it good quality data? Is it just saying 85 out of 100 in mathematics? Or is it going down and telling me that my computation ability or my ability to break down a problem from words to numbers, that is the problem? Or it's just telling me I'm 85 out of 100 and I'm 86 out of 100, so 86 is more than 85, so I'm better than you. Which is very different from, and I've been massively impressed with the kind of structures that you've been able to create. So that is the critical area from my perspective.
How much time do you estimate a teacher to spend on inputting the data?
That's an interesting question. So first of all, teachers are already entering this data. They're doing it on a piece of paper, they're doing it in their mind, they're doing it on some Excel sheet or some Word document and so on. The problem is it's so completely unstructured, and the data points, as I just mentioned, is not properly defined. It's just 85 out of 100 rather than going into skills and so on. So it's no additional work on the teacher. While it might sound like it's no additional work because you're already doing it and you're making a mess out of it. You're writing it into hundreds and hundreds of pages. I've seen teachers walking into a classroom with this huge register which has one page for each child, and they're writing into it painfully and then cutting it and pasting it somewhere. So the point is that there's no additional work, but there could be a challenge involved that I'm not comfortable typing on it. I'm really comfortable, and there's another challenge involved. Suppose I notice something in the classroom which I want to document. Do I run into the computer room, type it and come back? So those are the kind of challenges that we'll have to deal with. I might not be able to do justice in the context of this talk to that. But those are the kind of challenges. So I'll just complete. So schools use variety of tools to solve this problem. They might have an assistant, or they might have a separate time. They might give teachers tablets and so on. So there's a variety of schemes. But what you have to keep in mind, and what teachers have to slowly understand, that this is not additional work. You are already doing it. It's just that it's now becoming structured. It's coming into a fashion where we can create reports like this. We can make you much more, where data is becoming actionable. It's not being recorded for the sake of giving a report card to you, but now we're also acting on that data. There was a question there.
Two things.
4 to 5. Okay. Yeah. So we just have 5 minutes left. So
yeah, two things which I would like to see is how would the interface look like for a teacher who has to enter the data? And the second thing, will the child be able to add to her or his portfolio on their own too? Or only the teacher?
Okay, the second question is more interesting. The first question is fairly simple. Okay. You have text boxes, radio buttons, etc. But the second question is very interesting. And that's what I suggest to a lot of schools, is that rather than concentrating your data on one teacher, just delegate it. Kids are very good at entering their own data. They can easily log in, they can easily scan and upload. And you could create a verification process so that there could be a moderation, but then the workload gets divided between 30 people. So that what we've also done is we've also given front ends to parents to enter data. So as a parent, I might notice something about my child. घर में बुआ जी आई and my child walked in and served water to them or helped make tea for them. I want to document it. It's a very powerful piece of information because a child is spending, mind you, more than 50% of the time in his home, but the data that's getting generated out there is not getting captured. So, and our point is that, let a lot of people enter it. Rather than one class teacher standing at the gateway and saying, "मैं decide करूँगी, क्या करूँगी?" A, that's not good. It's putting a lot of load on the class teacher. B is you're also losing out on a huge amount of data. So this also addresses to a certain extent the question that you raised. Delegate. Let people enter data. And you could create moderation processes, but people are smart enough, kids are much smarter than what you and I are. They'll figure out things, and they'll be much faster. I mean, what Jazz did today, I don't think any of us can even type as fast as that. So that's a different matter. Any other questions? We are almost coming to a close.
I assume you are going to make it available offline as well?
No.
Okay.
But why offline? This is typically hosted within the school LAN. So if your school LAN is there, it's perfectly okay.
So why not?
Teachers will have more time to
Yeah,
input
why
data
not?
when they are at home.
So
But they can access, because we are having iSchool in our school, so we can access iSchool at
right,
home also.
you can access it from your homes, so which is different from taking it offline.
I mean, the idea of offline eliminates the access issue and speed of access issue.
I mean,
That
that
was
also
sometimes
much
we
faster
are,
when I have
Yes,
an
it's
offline, like say for instance, I'm doing my mail offline.
So essentially, you're saying that I as a teacher go home, I type it things, I save it in a pen drive, and come to office, and then
very
just
often,
run
a
it.
lot of my teachers don't have access or internet.
So this is like say you have Gmail offline.
Yeah.
So in the same way.
Not on a pen drive or something, but you have an offline mode in your system itself. So whatever data that is saved offline is saved in your system, and whenever that computer is connected to the internet, it automatically syncs.
Like a cloud thing.
So we don't have it today. This is something that we'll have to work
So
on.
it's something which is
Yeah.
simpler
We
than
don't have
copying it on a pen drive.
It is lots of time that even while we are editing data, that then the connectivity goes off, so all the data is lost, and then you have to do that the number again. So that's.
I mean, if it's coming so strongly, then
Yeah,
And
we had that
that's because of our
experience.
internet access issue.
Because of the internet access.
yeah.
Not otherwise.
You hit a button sync and it just syncs everything
Yeah.
once you're on internet, and it can sync it if
Okay,
class is going on.
so we don't have that today.
Yeah.
I think we've almost run out of time. I'd really like to thank you.